The upcoming M5 Mac Mini is shaping up to be one of Apple's most exciting desktop launches in recent years, and the tech community is buzzing with speculation, leaks, and rumors about what this small but powerful machine could bring to the table. For those who have been following Apple's trajectory, the Mac Mini has always been the sleeper hit in Apple's lineup, a compact yet mighty computer that delivers flagship-level performance in a form factor that takes up less space than most gaming consoles. And now with the anticipated M5 chip, things are expected to move into an entirely new league of speed, efficiency, and graphics capability. Insiders suggest that Apple's M5 silicon is going to be a serious leap over the M4, potentially fabricated on a refined 2nm process that not only boosts performance but also drastically reduces power consumption, which makes perfect sense for the Mac Mini since Apple markets it as an entry-level desktop for developers, creative professionals, and everyday users who need efficiency without compromising power. And if we look at Apple's history, every new Mac Mini generation has delivered noticeable jumps in benchmarks, meaning the M5 variant could bring unprecedented raw computing power in such a small box. Many analysts predict that the M5 Mac Mini will launch in late 2025 or early 2026, aligning with Apple's yearly silicon upgrade cycle, and based on early reports, the design may not drastically change externally, but will see refinements internally, with better thermal management to support higher sustained performance. Since one of the criticisms of the current Mac Mini models is thermal throttling under extremely heavy loads, especially for users who run intensive workflows like video editing, 3D rendering, or machine learning experiments, and this is exactly where the M5 chip could shine with improved efficiency cores, more powerful performance cores, and an upgraded GPU cluster that might rival dedicated desktop GPUs in certain workloads. Rumor mills are also pointing to the possibility that Apple might bring a dual-port Thunderbolt 5 setup on the base model, something that would open the door for faster external storage solutions and support for multiple high-resolution displays, which is an area where professional users are always demanding more flexibility. And considering Apple's push towards supporting creators, developers, and even casual gamers, the Mac Mini could finally be marketed as not just a productivity box, but a mini workstation capable of handling AAA gaming titles through Apple's Metal framework and possibly cloud gaming integrations. Interestingly, some leaks suggest Apple could experiment with a higher-tier Mac Mini configuration powered by the M5 Pro or even M5 Max chipsets, similar to how they offered an Intel i7 option in older days, which would give users an option between a truly affordable entry-level version and a premium mini desktop beast without having to jump all the way to the Mac Studio. And this strategy would fill a gap in Apple's current lineup, where the price-to-performance balance is heavily skewed between the entry-level Mini and the high-priced Studio. Another talking point is memory configuration. Since the Mac Mini is widely used by developers and creative professionals, the demand for higher unified memory capacity is louder than ever, and with the M5 architecture, we might see up to 48GB or even 64GB of unified memory on the higher-end models, which would be huge for those who want to multitask or handle massive datasets. Plus, faster memory bandwidth is rumored, which will further push performance limits. Storage options are also expected to expand, with Apple likely offering base 512GB SSD and scaling up to 8TB for top configurations, making the M5 Mac Mini a true powerhouse for professionals who need both speed and storage without resorting to external drives. When it comes to design, leaks suggest Apple won't completely redesign the Mac Mini, but might bring subtle refinements like a slimmer profile, better ventilation grills, or even a matte finish color option to differentiate it from earlier models. But the real beauty of the Mac Mini has always been its minimalist approach. Small, quiet, and almost invisible on a desk, yet capable of heavy lifting. And this DNA is unlikely to change, though Apple might take cues from the Mac Studio and include improved airflow solutions to keep up with the M5 chip's higher performance envelope. Connectivity is another area where people are expecting updates. And if Thunderbolt 5 becomes standard, we could also see HDMI 2.1, upgraded Wi-Fi 7 support for faster wireless speeds, and possibly even a 10GB Ethernet option on higher configurations, giving professionals the flexibility to connect to high-speed networks without needing adapters, which has always been one of the strong suits of the Mac Mini. Now let's talk about the price, because that's always the elephant in the room. And the good news is that Apple has historically kept the Mac Mini at a competitive entry-level price point compared to other Macs, with the base model often starting around $599 to $699, And while inflation and new chip technology could push the price slightly higher, industry insiders believe Apple will keep the base M5 Mac Mini under $790, making it still one of the most affordable ways to get into the Mac ecosystem, especially for students, developers, or small businesses that need a reliable machine without breaking the bank. Another fascinating angle is Apple's focus on sustainability. And we can expect the M5 Mac Mini to continue Apple's green initiative with more recycled aluminum in the chassis, a smaller carbon footprint, and better energy efficiency that aligns with Apple's 2030 carbon-neutral goals, making this product not only powerful but also eco-conscious, something that appeals strongly to modern consumers. As for performance expectations, early projections suggest the M5 Mac Mini could see up to 40% faster CPU speeds, a 50% jump in GPU power, and machine learning tasks running nearly twice as fast compared to the M4 generation, which would put it on par with some desktop-class workstations, but at a fraction of the size and cost. And this kind of leap could make it the go-to choice for indie developers, YouTubers, podcasters, and even small design studios that need reliable horsepower in a compact form. And if Apple pushes gaming further on macOS, which is something we've seen them hint at with Game Mode and macOS Sequoia and developer partnerships, the M5 Mac Mini might actually turn into the first Mac Mini that could seriously be marketed as a capable gaming system, supporting 120Hz gaming at 1440p or even 4K on optimized titles, especially if paired with Apple's ProMotion-enabled displays. The community is also speculating about whether Apple will continue with the same simple box design or experiment with modular options like stackable accessories, but given Apple's history of sleek integration, it's more likely they'll stick to the traditional one-box solution while enhancing internal performance. In terms of software, macOS will obviously be tuned for M5, meaning better app performance, smoother multitasking, and a richer experience for those who rely on Final Cut Pro, Logic Pro, or Xcode. And with AI integration becoming more central to Apple's ecosystem, the M5 Mac Mini could play a role in on-device AI processing, handling tasks like voice recognition, local AI models, and real-time editing with unprecedented speed, making it a future-ready desktop for the AI-driven decade ahead. And finally, looking at the bigger picture, the M5 Mac Mini is not just another refresh. It represents Apple's commitment to keeping the compact desktop alive in an era dominated by laptops and mobile devices, showing that small form-factor desktops still have an important place in the market. Whether for professionals who need multiple monitor setups, developers who want an affordable build server, or casual users who simply want a powerful machine that doesn't take up much space, and when it eventually launches, the M5 Mac Mini could very well redefine what people expect from a $700–$1,000 desktop computer, blending raw performance, power efficiency, and Apple's signature design philosophy into a single device that's set to make waves across the industry. And if all the leaks, rumors, and news align with reality, this might just be the most powerful, versatile, and exciting Mac Mini Apple has ever released, making it not only worth the wait, but also potentially the go-to desktop for an entire generation of creators and professionals.